Okay. They say ideas are in the air. But I believe that if we keep an open mind, ideas are actually everywhere. Everything that we are surrounded by, everything that we're using, anything, any companies, organizations, causes that we're part of was once just ideas. Even power was once just Aaron's idea. Next, please. There we go. So Bliss Scholarship Foundation is a nonprofit, as you know, who helps students in the Philippines. We empower students, sorry. So we empower students through leadership and education. Next, please. As of right now, we already helped 45 students complete their college education and counting. But before all of this happened, Bliss was also just an idea. And that's what I wanted to share with all of you. Okay. So every time we hear inspirational leaders, they always say that you have to, before you start something, you have to know what your why is. Then when you figure that out, you'll find out what the how is. And then afterwards, then you can take action. As a perfectionist, I personally struggle with the action part because there's so many reasons not to do it. You know, I'm not good enough. I'm probably going to be a disappointment, or I'm just going to be a complete failure. There's so many reasons not to do that. Have anybody felt that way? Right? So, same way. Next, please. But I found out over time that when I prioritize thinking about progress, I overcome perfection because I move forward when I think about progress. Okay. So I wanted to take you how Bliss started, how progress took a role, and how the journey actually looked like. So when I was in high school, back in the Philippines, I was highly influenced by this new era of social media. I was embarrassingly starting a habit of keeping up with the Joneses. Well, now it's more keeping up with Kardashians. I love dresses, I love bags, I love shoes, and I saved money for all of that. Every money I saved, I spent shopping. That's what I did. And I thought the more I had those, the happier I was. Everything was fine and dandy until one day, my friend Brian over here, that's okay. My friend Brian over here told us an unexpected, heart-shattering reality that he was about to face. He wasn't going to college. It wasn't an option for his parents, it wasn't an option for his 5 older siblings, and it wasn't an option for him either. He told us that throughout our friendship, he didn't hang out with us after school and on the weekends because he had to go to work, so he could continue going to high school. Hearing all of this for the first time after being friends for at least 3 years was really confusing for me. First, I felt so bad because this friend of mine, he's very smart, he's very responsible, and he has full of potential. Another reason that I was so confused was I actually realized that I was living a carefree life in comfort, and my friend, on the other hand, was living in constant worry and struggle. And the happiness that I felt from the things that I bought before just felt empty. So, I told my parents I was going to help him. This is when the idea of helping Brian happened. One more, please. There you go. So I want to help him go to college. I went up to my parents, and they said yes, they were going to help him out. So after a year, we planned that Brian is going to work for a year and save money, and then we're going to go to college together. In the year 2008, we were about to start college in the Philippines. The market crash happened here in the U.S. My dad's job here in the U.S. was affected, and he was in grave danger. My college plan in the Philippines was affected and declared for bankruptcy months before we started college. My parents I knew my parents was gonna say no before they even told me. But you know what? Maybe I was a little crazy, maybe I was a little too ambitious, but I promised my friend that I was gonna help him, and I did, even behind my parents' back. And so we did. What's the next one there? Oh, no! Okay. So we started college, and then we had to earn money. So we ended up having scholarship money, and he also had his job. Other than that, I knew that it wasn't going to be enough. So I had to find other ways to earn income. One day, one of my professors told me to join an essay writing contest. That's not something that I've ever done before, and I'm not really an essay writing type of girl. But since she said all of the contests that are held in school has monetary prizes, that piqued my interest. And so I went, I didn't really think about it. I did go to that room where the contest was held. And as I walked in, I saw students that were part of our school's newspaper. And you know what my perfectionist self did? I wanted to get my butt out of that chair and leave the room. Because it was saying, oh my gosh, you're not going to win here. Everybody's going to win. You're probably going to lose really badly. They have experience and you don't. But then my progress side says, well, you don't really ever know. They're probably right. You're probably going to lose, but you don't know, right? So I was doing my essay and I thought, okay, I'm probably going to lose. I'm going to lose. This is horrible. That's what I thought while I was doing my essay. But you know what? This happened. This was my envelope. I won first prize. So this gave me a little bit more confidence and tried doing more contests. So that's what I did. I joined more essay contests. I did quiz bees. I did dance competitions. And I even did beauty pageants. And I won them all, except for the beauty pageants. But I'm still beautiful. It's okay. And I had a lot of money. I had money, And my parents knew I had money because they were giving me the scholarship money, and then they know that I'm also going through all of these contests and winning. So I did have a lot of money, and at some point, because I was pretty sketchy, my parents knew that when I have money, I buy stuff. And I haven't been buying stuff, I was giving it to my friend so he could go to college. One time I overheard her and my dad saying hey, I don't know why Diane's just, she has so much money, but she's not really buying anything. What do you think she's doing with it? And you know what my dad said? My dad says, do you think she's doing drugs? My mom said, well, she doesn't seem like she's high. So, So after a while, we kept doing that all throughout college, just kept doing it, going through the works. I got that down. And then finally, Brian graduated. Yay! We graduated at the same time. And you know what? He went on and on to get his master's, and now he's working on his doctorate degree. Okay. So after a while, this has given me so much confidence. In college, I don't have my own income, but I could support students go to college. What more can I do if I start working? So next, please. The very friends that I had in high school, including Brian, we thought, okay, we're going to do a scholarship now. We have no idea how we're going to do this. We had no experience or whatsoever, but you know what? We wanted to do it. We communicated with the school, and the first thing they asked us was, what do you call your scholarship? See, we didn't really think about that. And so we came up with this name, and it felt so right. It was so inclusive. It's in Tagalog. And then when we actually did it, we were sold. But I want you to see this, and I want you to read it, the acronyms. We called our scholarship PMS. I cannot believe that went through. There were 3 girls in the group. But it felt so right. And that English one, they just threw it in there just to make it nice, But in Tagalog, it was so inclusive. It was really cool. But yes. And we stayed that way for 2 years. It's progress, it's not perfect, but you can make improvements. Over time, we did say that we were gonna go ahead and just sponsor 3 students. This is our first batch. We ended up getting 8. We still had no idea what we're doing. We were very transparent. This is our first time doing this. We need your feedback. We're gonna make our scholarship better. Over the years, we get more. We were so proud of PMS, we made t-shirts for them. Okay, next, and more, and then we became Bliss. See, eventually we ended up becoming Bliss. And more every year happened. And now we're at 45. In a few months, it's gonna be 52. All right, next. Okay, see, and more. And since then, we weren't just a scholarship. We provided their calculators. Now we have printers for them. And last year, we were able to give 3 different villages school supplies. So we gave about 500 kiddos, grade schoolers, school supplies as a welcome back from the pandemic. And this wasn't an event that I was confident doing. I had to collaborate because, if you're not confident doing something, you collaborate. And then eventually until you make your own event. Okay, next. This was just last week. I'm super proud of them. So Bliss was invited to go to one of our community partners events. This is Rebecca Kirsch. She is a Filipino-American. She is one of the top 25 women in financial technology in New York. Wow. She was interviewed in CNN Philippines, and after that, the following day, I couldn't go because I'm here. But some of my students were able to go, and they went and met her. Yay! And then next, please. And while they were there, they saw Heidelin Diaz, and Heidelin Diaz is the very first a gold Olympic medalist in the Philippines, and they met her. All right, is there a next one? Okay, so if there's something that I want you guys to learn about this is perfection. Perfection is not, when you strive for perfection and you want to be perfect all the time, you don't grow because you're scared of growing. But if you think about progress is not always pretty. Progress is not always easy. And progress is sometimes straight up embarrassing, like PMS. But you know that when you do prioritize progress, you know that you can improve the things that you're working on, and then eventually you'll always be the best version of what you're doing. I want you to think about this, like, what if I never took upon this idea and deliver it? What about you? Like, what if you never took action about the ideas that you already have? What are you missing on? Because for me, I've felt so much growth, and over time, I'm not the only one growing because everybody else is growing with me. And I couldn't believe that I couldn't believe that I could do this to begin with, and I can't believe that opportunities I've experienced and the opportunities that I'm giving to them. I know that I said so many things, but at least remember me as the girl who named her scholarship PMS. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.